So this question is asking us to solve the equations. So we've got some simultaneous equations here because we know we've got two letters to find, the value of x, the value of y, and therefore we need two equations, which we've got here. And because we've got power 2s, it looks like we're going to have to create a quadratic and solve that. And they've given us a linear term here for x. So the best way of doing this would be to replace this x into there. And then that will give us everything involving y, so therefore we can find the y value first and then find the x value afterwards. So remember what this represents. Basically x squared plus y squared equals 36 is representing a circle where the radius is 6, and this is given as an equation of y equals x take away 6. So basically if we rearrange this to y equals mx plus c, then it's going to be y equals a half x take away 3. Yep. So basically we've got a straight line doing something like this, and what we're after is the coordinates of where the straight line crosses the circle to solve this particular question. But we're going to use an algebraic approach rather than draw the circle on a graph paper and so forth. So let's have a look how this works. Going to replace the x in there, so we end up with 2y plus 6. Now remember, it's x squared, so in a bracket squared plus the y squared is equal to 36. So literally we're going to multiply out this bracket, so usual thing. We've got 2y plus 6 and 2y plus 6. So we've got 4y squared plus 12y plus 12y plus 36. So this multiplied out gives us 4y squared. We've got 12y plus 12y, so plus 24y, plus the 36, plus the y squared, and that equals 36. Bring together like terms and rearrange this to be equal to 0, because any quadratic we've got the general formula ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. In this case we've got y's, so it would be y squared and by and so forth. But to solve a quadratic we've got techniques that when we make it equal to 0 we can solve them. If we use complete and square, of course, we don't actually need the equal 0. We can just sort things about differently, but 0 is usually a better approach. So let's have a look. We've got 5y squared plus y squared, so that's 5y squared. And we've got 24y, no more y, so that's plus 24y. And we've got 36, take away 36, so that's gone, so that equals 0. So basically we've got this to solve. Because we've got a common factor, then it's basically saying y times 5y plus 24 equals 0. So this tells me that the y can equal 0, or the bracket's telling me 5y plus 24 equals 0. So we solve this, so y is equal to take away the 24, divide by the 5, and when we do negative 24 divided by 5 we end up with negative 4.8. So we've got two y values, and because we know the x value from here, the x values can be found by doubling the y values plus 6, then of course we can get the x values. So the x value was twice the y values plus 6. So when y equals 0, x is equal to 0 plus 6, which is 6. So that gives us the coordinate 0, 6. No, it doesn't, because x is 6, it's the other way around. So 6, 0. And when y is equal to negative 4.8, then x is equal to negative 9.6 plus 6, which is negative 3.6. So that gives us the other coordinate, negative 3.6, negative 4.8. So we have, when y equals 0, x equals 6, and then when y equals negative 4.8, x equals negative 3.6. Of course we should now check all of this works. So we've done all that hard work, so we need to check that all of this has actually worked. So we found that one of the equations was x squared plus y squared equals 36. So we can see that 0 squared plus 6 squared is 36, so that's not a problem. Now let's just check the negative one. So we've got negative 4.8 squared plus negative 3.6 all squared. And so 4.8 squared, don't need the negative because squaring would cancel that out anyway. plus 3.6 squared equals 36. So after all that hard work, we can be happy that through our check we found the answer was correct. So just to recap then, so we've got a circle formula here and a linear formula there, and so therefore the idea is that we've got a circle with a straight line crossing and we're working out two coordinates as the solutions. The way to do this is to substitute back into either the x into there to make everything with y in it, so we've got one letter to then solve, or we could have swapped this to be y equals something and put it in there. It doesn't really matter, but it's straightforward that x was there already. So we replaced that, we've expanded the bracket properly, and then we put the terms together equal to the 36 that the squared term had. We then swap that about to get it equal to 0, and then we factorise to then find our solutions. And because we've got something times something gives us 0, that had to either be 0 or the bracket had to be 0. And if the bracket was 0, you can rearrange that to make y the subject and find out the answer was negative 4.8. Because the original functions told us that x was equal to twice the y value plus 6, then I can use the two y values I found to find the x values. And of course we should then check it all worked, and then we put down our solutions. So that's solving quadratic and linear simultaneous equations.